Hello everyone, this is Neronium. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age. Without further ado, I need to choose an account, and we will start up a new game. So, you gonna give me my options? Alright. So, we can put on vibration. I will put on subtitles for the sake of this playthrough. The screen shake will not be on because that just gets annoying. Auto rotation. No, we'll turn that off. Now this right here, this is one thing I did not mention in the last part. There's two things I need to clarify here. One, this game is 60 frames per second if you are playing on an Xbox One X, just like how I am right now. But if you're not, the game is locked at 30 frames per second for normal Xbox One users. Same with the Switch being 30 frames per second. Now the next thing is, in the international version of the game of Final Fantasy XII, the original PS2 one, they added in the ability to speed up the game by overclocking the system. Basically, you have ×2 speed and ×4 speed. I'm going to be setting it to ×4. I'll try not to use it too often because it makes you feel a little bit weird and some people might get a little bit sick because of it. Now, language, we're going to keep it in English. The music. Now, the music is something that's interesting that I'm noticing right here. We have the original soundtrack, the reorchestrated soundtrack, and the one that appears on the original soundtrack for the game. The OST music option is only available for people as DLC if they do not have the Steelbox version of Final Fantasy XII on the PS4. I believe it's the same for PC. I could be wrong, but it's interesting that they've included it on here. We're going to go with reorchestrated here. Voices and everything right there. I don't see anything about... I guess those are the only options. That's weird. There's normally the targeting line one. Maybe that's only in-game. But, without further ado, because we've spent about 3 minutes inside a menu, let's start a new game. Please tell me they fixed how the cutscenes were and aren't going with the original Zodiac Age version of the cutscenes. Because... No! That big black bar on the bottom is where the subtitles appear.
In the name of the Father, and in the presence of these holy relics, I hereby pronounce you man and wife from this time forth. May the blessings of the gods light your path for all eternity. Far on.
An attack by both land and air, our kingdom will stand little.
Nabudis has fallen.
Impossible!
My father? I know not. I am sorry.
If Nabodis has indeed fallen, it is only a matter of time before they reach the borders of Dalmasca. There is nothing to halt their advance.
Secure Nalbina with all haste.
I will go.
And I will go at his side.
Galtea, stand watch over your life.
That I be considered worthy.
The fortress is lost! We must withdraw!
No! The paling still stands!
Shield beyond sight, ne'er failing light.
The paling's fallen!
Then it's over!
For my father. For my father!
Lord Rasler!
Blessings of the Great Father descend, and guide your bodies return to the earth. Great Father, guide your spirits return to the Mother of all. There you shall find peace. Pharaoh.
I love how he got killed in the one spot that didn't have armor.
The death of Lord Rasla Heos Nabradia was but one of many tragedies to befall the kingdom of Dalmasca. The air of hope that had surrounded Her Royal Highness Princess Asha's wedding was now quite lost. Dalmasca had been set adrift at the mercy of history's restless tides. At this time, two great empires struggled for dominion over Ivalice: Arcadia in the east, Rosaria the west. The invasion of the Kingdom of Nabradia was Arcadia's first step in its westward march. With Lord Rasla's beloved homeland consumed by the hellfires of war, it seemed clear that Arcadia would soon mete out a like fate to Dalmasca. The fall of the fortress at Nalbina told the destruction of the greater part of Dalmasca's forces. A counterattack was mounted by the order of the Knights of Dalmasca, ever brave and faithful. But against the martial might of the Arcadian armies, they stood little chance of victory. Indeed, their defeat was to be absolute. Soon thereafter, Arcadia came forward, offering terms of peace, or, as one might rather put it, terms of Dalmasca's surrender. Lord Romanos, King of Dalmasca, and my dear friend, had no choice but to accept these terms. It was, thus, only with reluctance that he set out for Nalbina Fortress, now under Arcadian occupation, to affix his seal to the Emperor's Treaty of Peace. The king had scarce departed his royal city of Rabanasta when the remnants of the Order made their return, and not a moment too soon, for a terrible revelation awaited them. The treaty would be signed with steel and writ in royal blood.
You there? Can you hear me?
It's as I feared. They're slowing us down.
Do not say that. Not all of us are here for love of battle. He fights to defend his homeland. Your name?
Rex, sir. My name's Rex.
Good. Rex. You bore a few cuts, but you are still whole. Well, can you stand?
Think you can fight?
I'm fine, sir.
How old are you, Rex?
17, sir.
Young. Family?
My brother is all I have left, sir. He's 2 years younger than I, living in Rabanastre.
So young. You're barely old enough to be a man. You shouldn't be forced to wield a sword.
No, sir. I want to fight. For my homeland. And for my parents.
It's time, Bosch. Save the discussion for later. We must reach the king before they act, or all our efforts will be in vain.
I'm aware of the situation.
We found them! Over there!
Bossel, go ahead. I will handle this rabble.
Godspeed.
Steady, Rex. Keep your wits about you and you'll make it. We move!
Alright, and we're given control. I have to say, I am not used to this game in 60 frames per second at all. Alright, so use the right stick to move the camera around. Use the left stick to move. You're patronizing me now, Bosch. So, walk around with the left analog stick as such. Why, yes. It looks very out of place as your head is moving and it is static and in one place. It's a talk icon. You can talk to any characters showing one of these. There are a lot of characters in this game that show these. I won't be showing off every single little bit of dialogue, but there are some interesting ones that I want to set up. You might notice the log button as well. So I'm going to talk to Bosch again. Is mark above your head. You notice the log icon that you can access with the Y button. It would be triangle on the PlayStation systems. And crud, it's X on the Switch. So basically for that, if you ever miss dialogue, you can go into the entire conversation that you've had at that point and read through it, which is an interesting little touch. Hit the B button to get out of it, so keep that in mind. So, whoa, what the? No, this controller has dead zones! Or am I hitting the corner? Nope, this controller's got dead zones. Dang it. It won't matter too much. So, let's talk to this Dalmasca. Alright. Alright, so we gotta enter through this gate, and pretty much the marker above my head now that is static in one place and very out of the place is the action icon. Basically, action icons do different things. It's the context sensitive button. Sensitive to context. And one thing I should mention, I will be bioing enemies inside of Final Fantasy XII. As well as bosses. So you open the party menu by pressing Y. From the party menu you can examine your equipment and inventory. Look! A soldier! He's alone! So that red line is a hostile target line. Take heed, you're being targeted. You can actually turn these off in the game. I don't recommend it because you can actually use them to see who is attacking you and from where and the range that the enemy has on you. In the past, I used to turn them off, but not going to turn them off in this one. When a foe targets you, the line is red. When you target a foe, the line is blue. If you see a red line, look for foes at once. If they are not readily apparent, use the right analog stick to look around. When you've found them, press A to open the battle menu. Once you've selected attack, you're targeted a foe at a distance using the left button. You'll automatically attack until your foe is defeated. You can change targets or actions at any time. If your HP falls, press A to select items from the battle menu, then use a potion. After using an item, you will automatically resume your previous action. You know, this guard is very patient for waiting for my bullshit to go through on this. There is no need to input your commands again. You can do it, Rex. Now show me. Right, so here we have the battle menu. Now there are two methods to the battle menu. This is going to be a lot of tutorials and a lot of me explaining this part, I should mention. You might notice that everything in the world is paused right now. You can actually forego this in the options in-game, not on the main menu, to allow it that the world is not paused and that your actions still keep going. I'm going to keep it paused because I'll use it probably to get some thumbnails at some point. But you might notice we have attack, magic, and techniques, and items. What are techniques? Techniques are skills that allow you to do things that can range from using first aid if you don't have a healing spell, to doing things such as stealing from enemies. Stealing is an important thing, and I guess we can get into briefly with the Imperial Swordsmen, which are going to be the most common type of Arcadian enemies in this game. This game has a lot of enemies. It has over 300 enemies and bosses, so keep that in mind. But first things first, let's attack him. Imperial Swordsmen right now don't really have stats that are important, so keep that in mind. So I'm not going to bio him, but I am going to be dealing with what's next.
Captain?
Meet our first boss, the Air Cutter Remora. The Air Cutter Remora is a type of airship that the Arcadian Empire uses. This is the only one in the game you will fight normally. I believe there is one inside of trial mode that you can fight, but that's about it. Right now, we just need to get this thing up to half its health. Don't have to worry about dying too much because your allies will help you. You might have noticed that you can block and attacks can miss. It is calculated based on your evade stat. I'll get into the evade stat later on. Now we just need to get this thing to about half health, and the battle will end. He has the final flash.
Antlion, this is Sunbury. My engines are hit. She'll not hold much longer.
We receive you, Tomberry. You've leave to retire. Well fought.
My thanks, Antlion. Sunbury disengaging.
Yep, that's what they were going for with that Antlion, Tonberry, the cavalcade of older Final Fantasy villains and characters, enemies. Should keep in mind, there actually is not a Tonberry inside of Final Fantasy XII. There's no little guy with his stabby knife, and it makes me sad. Now, one thing to keep in mind with enemies, it's not showing up right now because we haven't really done it yet, but there is something important about enemies that we're about to get into. Yep, there's no simple way through the fortress. The minimap at the top right of your screen may not be enough to gain your bearings. Should you lose your way or your location, map with the what would be the select button, which I believe in the PS4 is the big center button, the touchpad, since that's used as the select button for a lot of games. So bring up the map of the fortress we gave you before we set out. If you find yourself at a loss, press the left stick in. Will allow you to navigate and view the location map as you move. Navigate your way as you see fit. So why don't we show that off? So here is everything. We can toggle and zoom with left and right trigger. And it will always display what your quest is at the bottom for a main story quest. So it is, I must reach the king before he signs the treaty. And then it will show, if you're in an area where you need to go, it'll show you with an X on the map being circled where you need to go. Right? Now, enemies. If I can get into this, because I think there's another cutscene, actually.
Vossler! Where are you?
What if Captain Ozilus has fallen?
Don't talk such nonsense. Vossler's laughed in the face of death far too many times for him to stop now. Men like him don't die in places like this. We must make haste to reach the king. We will take him to safety.
Is His Majesty unharmed?
He'll agree to an unconditional surrender. They wouldn't dare touch him until the wax on his seal is dry.
But if we arrive after he signed the treaty...
Wait. Quickly, Rex.
Alright, we got enemies that are going to be coming around. So, there should be some boxes in here too. Oh my god, this dead zone is terrible. And several enemy soldiers beyond this point. However, Rex, there is no need to destroy them all. Sometimes it is necessary to escape. Use the right trigger command. You can allow you to abandon the fight with an enemy and run away. Escaping from a pointless battle is nothing to be ashamed about. Pretty much, it's the fleeing button. Well, what? Man, this thing is more messed up than I thought. Great. No, you magic wielder. Let's see if it actually does it in the... Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, this controller is really messed up. What is with all my controllers on my Xbox One being messed up? A little bit of a context here. I was going to be recording this earlier, but for some bizarre reason, my Xbox One main controller that came with my Xbox One X does not work. It just stopped working. It's the one I've been using for Fallout New Vegas. It just stopped working. And I don't know why. Right? So. And I guess this controller is not too far off either. Ugh, this is bad. Now, I didn't notice it happening because it would have happened right here. There is a command in this game where if you end up... Oh my god, this eye looks so stupid, like walking slowly in place while running because it's not reading my input. It's called chaining. Whenever you chain an enemy, the same enemy type, so say you're these Imperial soldiers, as long as I'm killing a person of the Empire, an Imperial soldier of any kind, after a while, I will chain up commands and get better loot. Because these enemies do not drop loot, it does not matter. This is more of a tutorial section of the game, so keep that in mind. So, I just gotta get through the tutorial section and then go forward. So, go up right here. Blue dots indicate you're entering a new loading area, so keep that in mind. What is this right here? This is a save crystal. You can save your progress by approaching a save crystal and pressing the A button. Once touching these crystals, you will also fully restore your HP and MP. Though you will gradually recover MP as you move around, it can take time. Do not miss this opportunity to refresh yourself and your allies. There is more I will tell you, but we've no time. Heed the lessons on the battlefield and you will do well. Come, we must reach His Majesty before it's too late. So yes, think about save crystals. They're not as needed in this game. At least I haven't noticed it. I'll actually look when I go into the next load screen right now in the next area. Save crystals are always in safe areas. They will never be in areas where enemies will spawn. Yeah, it is auto-saving.
Intruders! Don't let them escape!
Sir, we have little time. You must go to the king. I'll handle these.
Fight well.
Oh my god, 3 of them? Let's go for the long one first. Huzzah! Haha! Weaklings! Now, it should be mentioned that the reason why save crystals aren't as needed anymore is because every new area you enter, the game will automatically autosave. You would only need to do save crystals if you want to do specific saves. Keep that in mind, because every time you enter a new area, you will end up saving automatically in that area. So if you get a game over, load up the game, boom, you are able to easily get back. Right now, hold on, I want to heal, because Rex here knows cure. Right, passage door. Nothing that way. And let's get to the king. Oh my god, I need to fix this controller. Why do the guys in Dalmasca look like they are wearing assless chaps, basically? Huh. HD!
Your Majesty. Captain, why? Our king, what have you done?
The king intended all along to sell Dalmasca to the Empire. His Majesty was a traitor.
Captain,
Seize the insurgent.
Along!
Well, so much for peaceful negotiations.
We'll never surrender to you. We are not cattle to be sold by a traitor king.
But the war is over, my dear Captain. You have lost. Dalmasca is the property of the Empire now. And to think, we intended to let you keep some of your sovereignty, out of respect. But now you've gone and ruined that. Haven't you, Captain?
We will never bow to you.
And the people of Dalmasca will hate you for it. Take the captain away.
Off you go.
Nothing breaks immersion like an achievement pop.
Vaughn.